Okay. Hello and welcome to today's session. We've got another live Apex Trader Funding 25k evaluation day. We are on day 8. Yesterday was quite a rough day, and I'll go over that shortly. But we landed about 723 USD down overall, with a loss of about 1100. So we've got maybe $300 or $400 of maximum drawdown that we can use to try and crawl our way back up, and we'll just see how we go. As usual, I will run my analysis on the pivot points. I'll do an overview of what happened yesterday and I'll do the multiple time frame analysis as well. If you do want to follow along, the link's in the chat and the description to go and get your own account and follow along with me. Please note, this is not a professional trader. This is just me sharing my experience as a retail trader looking to pass the prop firm challenge and get funded. So obviously not financial advice. I'll have a quick look at what happened yesterday. So I was hoping that we'd come up and hit this close gap. However, it was really bearish momentum. We didn't get through this breakout short, and it lived up to its name and just powered down for the whole day. I got out about this level here, so kind of the first big push and support area, but the market just continued to fall for basically the rest of the day. So massive drops. We got out at a fairly reasonable level, but as one of my followers, Trek Lord, he said I should have tighter stops. So that's going to be something that I'm going to look to implement moving forward. So using tighter stops, getting out faster if it does go against me, particularly when I'm going against the overall trend. What I'll look at now is the analysis. We've got the close gap lower. So from current price, we've got about 12 minutes till open. We're about 120 points above the close gap. So I'm hoping that if we do get a nice push up, obviously I'll look to sell that, but in line with the direction of late, it may be worth just looking for a short. I do have these two green lines here. That is close gap from the 24th of June this year and extreme gap from the 24th of June this year. So there's a good chance we'll probably go down and touch those either today or tomorrow, depending on if the market sort of goes bullish from here, but I'd imagine we'll come down and fill these unfilled gaps from all the way back in June. So those will be my target. Down lower, we do have the yearly R2. So we've got the pivot points on a daily, and then we've also got the yearly pivot points as well. So that one sits at 23,110, and it just forms another interesting point where the market will either reject or perhaps target. And if we do get below that, obviously we may be heading a lot lower down to, for example, the breakout long. The market is moving down towards our target at present, but as you might know, I don't look to get into the market in the pre-market because I often expect some increased volatility at the open, where I just hold off and wait. So overall, hopefully looking for sells today. So if we get a nice push up, be looking to short the market in line with the close gap of yesterday, the unfilled gaps from June, and then also the bearish direction of the market of late. We saw the ASX drop off quite a bit as well. So that's one thing to note, is the market just fell quite considerably for the trading day. Perhaps that was just a reflection of the DAX yesterday, but it may be a leading indicator saying that the DAX will continue to fall. Have a look at the bigger time frames now. So we've got the monthly. Zoom in. Kind of approaching. Looks like that might have filled last month actually. But in saying that, the close gap still hasn't filled. So on the monthly, we've really been hovering around this price level. We haven't broken lower as of last month, so we'll see if that pans out today or not. On the weekly, we're kind of at the low of the, I guess, volume profile. If you can kind of mentally picture where the volume profile would be sitting, it would look something like, if you follow my mouse, it would look something like that. And the volume profile down here would be a bit less. On the daily, sitting at the low of the Bollinger Band there, the low Bollinger Band. So I'd expect that will push off that long at some point. However, there's every chance that it might just disregard that and power down towards that close gap, or the unfilled gap, I should say. Got the 4 hour, very similar. Obviously, we'll breach that on the lower band if we do pass towards our targets. Got the 1 hour, very centralized on the 1 hour, so that gives us plenty of room when it comes to the Bollinger Band, so nothing to concern ourselves with there. We'll have a look at the 30-minute. We'll be spiking out if we do get down to that unfilled gap, and we'll only just be outside if we hit the close gap there. Got the 15-minute. Very centralized, so nothing to see there. And we're on our 5-minute just to take us into the market. We've got 7 minutes to go until we have market open. And I'll just be outlining what I'm seeing in the order flow. So as I mentioned, I'm looking for shorts. Potentially we'll see a spike up, or maybe a bit of a retracement from yesterday's move down to help us get in at a better point. Obviously we don't want the risk reward being too wide when it comes to the stop loss compared to the target. So we've got 7 minutes of movement to come in. From this point, it's not too far away. With sort of 30 points, 40 points, we could have an okay stop. But if it goes any lower towards that close gap, it might start causing a bit more disrepute when it comes to the stop loss size. Now that's where the order flow comes in. So I've got the add-on for the Eurex so that I can trade the FDAX Minis on the futures for the Apex Trader funding. Otherwise, you can't access the FDAX Minis without that Eurex add-on. You can only trade like gold, Forex, and the US futures. So you do need that Eurex add-on with Tradovate to be able to access this type of data, particularly for the FDAX Mini. It looks to me like this order flow here is probably aggressive selling, pushing that market down. Not really sure what these orders are here. Perhaps just people filling client required orders. So if a client calls into a big firm and they're looking to place orders just for whatever reason, perhaps not on a trading basis, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. So we'll be looking for bigger orders on the bid and ask side to kind of paint more of a picture for us to understand what's actually going on. and who has control over the market, be it the buyers or the sellers. Remember to stay active in the chat, guys. If you do want to win a free challenge, I do have a free account available for today. I'll announce that towards the end of the session to anybody who sort of comments and remains active in the session. So get involved, guys. If you have your own analysis and you think my analysis is not correct, feel free to let me know. Always open to have a discussion and share my experience and my thoughts with you, and obviously vice versa. If you do have an opinion on the market, happy to hear about it in the chat. I'm wondering if this could be thin buying, people that are buying because they kind of have to for whatever reason, whether it's to fill certain orders that aren't necessarily speculative, because they're not particularly at a price point where I would expect to see this kind of activity in that size of an order. So a little bit interesting on that front. We've got 3 minutes till open, or 2.5. Just going to move this over. I will be trading from the depth of market as usual. I've got 2 contracts here from yesterday, so I'm going to change that back to 1. So that's a little tip there, is make sure you've got the right quantity before you start trading. If you go in thinking you've got 1 contract on, but you've got 2 or more, you can get into some serious hot water very quickly. And then when you try and get out, you're trying to get out of different size contracts, and it just gets all very confusing when the market heats up and it's moving with a lot of volatility. So we've got 1.5 minutes until the market opens. The market's really pointing down. I'm hoping it's kind of lulling people in, getting people in short before the market opens. It's going to come up, pop up to this pivot so I can get in at a better price. But we'll see what it brings. It may just go straight towards that close gap and beyond. But I'm hoping we do see some reversal here to help us get in at a better price and a more favorable risk-reward ratio. 1 minute till open now. So let's try and build an understanding of the direction of the market. I'll just quickly jump over. So very bearish on the daily, but we've come outside that Bollinger Band, and it may reject off that. Very bearish on the 4 hour. Starting to see a bit of recovery on the sort of over the recent hours. Just something to be aware of. Just going to pull this in a little bit tighter and then just zoom in. That's on a 15. I want to go 5 minute. We're open. If we can get a nice strong push up. Thanks for joining. All right, that looks. If we can get a better push up, that'd be great. There we go. I'm gonna jump in. I'll use the sell at market just to show what happens. So the order when I got in was probably up here a little bit further, and it's cut me out by 1 or 2 points. Obviously, you'd have to watch the replay to get the exact figure, but when it's moving around really quick, if you hit that sell or buy, you can easily lose a couple of points. So I've gotten out of that one just while it figures out where it's going to go. Obviously, it's going to go straight down as soon as I get out. But we're $35 up to kick off the session. Just want to zoom in. That looks like buying there to me. Hopefully we'll get another pullback, but if we do break below this, it's probably going to go quite quickly. So I want to get in again. There's a lot of activity on this 630 price. Hi Sylvia, thanks for joining. Okay, it's sort of broken that. I don't know if it's going to hold or push. Tempted to get short. All right, I'm really just looking at the moment. There's been a lot of volume come in. It's not really clear as to the direction as yet. Thanks for joining, guys. Really appreciate you coming along to check it out. So that looks like aggressive selling to me. There's 16, 17 contracts. I'm going to get in. Probably got in at the wrong price, so I clicked on the wrong section there, but that's okay. I'm hoping this 24 contract seller, I believe that's an aggressive seller coming in, pushing the market down, will hold that price. And I'm hoping this will push below this area. Otherwise, we're obviously going to go up, probably towards this pivot a little higher. Okay, so if you're in longs, do you think the correlation between this market and the NQ is there? Or do you think perhaps the Euro session will provide a different outcome? If this doesn't hold, I'll probably get out of this quite quickly. I'm going to get out of that. So I'm not going to make the same mistake as yesterday. I'm just going to get out quite quickly. If I see a really strong reason to get long or short, I'm going to take it. Look, with the DAX, often, for example, the US 30 will have a pullback. I think that's a sell there. If we get a bit more sort of an impulsive move higher, I want to get short. It's got to shoot up a bit higher for me. And then the DAX continues to just disregard the rest of the market. So I'm short again here, just in case it does pull back from this point. But if we do keep going up, I'm probably going to get out very quickly again. Yeah, so often the DAX, it's meant to correlate, but it doesn't always follow the track, which is really frustrating, particularly if you're trading the FTSE or the UK 100, and one does what it's meant to and reacts off the levels, while the other, for example, the DAX just disregards the levels. So you'll trade on one, you'll watch the UK react exactly how it's meant to, okay, that might be buying there. Might just take this $100. Okay, so I'm flat again. So we're 85 up. Now the reason I got out was because we had some what looked like aggressive buying here, followed by potential limit orders, 6 contracts down at this price. But if we do break below here and it's quite aggressive, I'll be looking to get short again. But I don't want to ride this all the way up. Yeah, that looks like selling to me. I'll get in short here again. We are on the Bollinger Band, just rejecting off that though, so possibly not the wisest position to get short from. But we did break below this kind of structure here. It's a really strong sort of price level there at the 624. So I'm hoping if we can get past this Bollinger Band midline. Looks like a lot of selling coming in. So I don't know if ever I missed it, but basically the reason I'm looking to go short, obviously the direction has been short of late, but we've got the close gap lower. We've also got, I think this has been filled, so I'm going to delete this. This was a close gap from 24th of June. We've got an extreme unfilled gap. Oh, sorry, that's a close gap that has been unfilled from the 24th of June. So I'm hoping the market will push right down and collect that and close that off. But we'll see. We'll see what happens during this session. I'm hoping that's aggressive selling around this price level. So people kind of seeing the market come back, touch this bottom to then head towards target. Looks like quite aggressive buying at this price here. So just using the order flow to determine who has control. I would say the sellers do have control at this point because there's thin order flow on this side. But we're at the bottom of this kind of structure as well, and it's very close to the open, so we might have an impulsive push higher before we go down. What sort of time frame are you trading on the NQ? Obviously the style of trading for the Apex Trader funding is very much in and out quite quickly to avoid getting hitting those drawdowns, particularly with one contract. You're kind of looking at €5 per movement, makes it very tight. So you can't hold trades too long with the Apex Trader funding account, unless obviously you're on a bigger account. Okay, nice. So still very quick, in and out. I have to say, sometimes the order flow can kind of trigger an opinion where perhaps you shouldn't be looking for one. So often I wouldn't even trade this kind of activity if I didn't have anything on the order flow. But because I do have the order flow, it helps me kind of justify reasons why I might get in from certain points that I wouldn't even look at. So it's going up. I'm hoping these are limit orders on the retracement to sort of say, traders are getting back short when there's a slight pullback to then continue the trend lower. Excellent. That's great. And you're trading that now off the basis of the Euro session, given the extra volatility? Because obviously it's quite good if you can use that market without having to pay the Eurex futures additionally. The reason I trade the FDAX is it's just a market that I've always watched. If I guess, had experienced the NQ a lot more, and particularly the US futures, I would probably stick to them. So I'm sticking to what I know, but obviously trying to adapt how I normally trade to fit the drawdown rules of Apex Trader Funding. That's 19 contracts. It could be a limit order, but it's probably, I'm hoping it's aggressive selling. I don't see any particular reason why people would be buying aggressively at this point. But there's probably more reason for people to be selling a lot harder because we've broken this this area. But with that 19, it kind of looks like the market's perhaps pulling back the other way. So it's really fighting it out here. If we can break below this structure here, we'll be okay. But this kind of 30 contracts as a potential limit, and then aggressive buying as a 19 would mean the market's going long. Excellent. It's a good way to do it. What sort of a strategy are you using? Here we go. We've broken that structure. Hopefully it can hold and build quite a bit of momentum. There's a lot of selling contracts there. I wouldn't want to be buying into this kind of activity on the DAX. We may hit a bit of a snag when it comes to this price here, this where it all sort of pushed up. It might have a bit of a retracement at this point, but we'll see. I'll just zoom out a little so we can see what the structuring is. Okay. So there's a lot of activity in the pre-market around this price range, which may see the market kind of reject back long. So I'm just hoping we can break through that structure to go and head towards the close gap. Yeah, Treklord, thanks for joining. I decided to kind of follow the overall trend of the market rather than trying to go against it all the time. And we'll see how that plays out today. I'm aiming for the close gap. And there's also, I believe it's an unfilled close gap from the 24th of June way down here. So we'll see what happens. So this is a 5-minute chart. We're on a new 5-minute candle, perhaps just buyers blind buying on the open of a new candle, I'm hoping. It doesn't seem too strong in comparison to all of the bid side orders over here. So I'm going to hang in there. That's quite big. So we've got a 10 bid and 13 ask. Not too sure what to make of that, but I'm tempted to just get out. Done it on the wrong side. So I've done a misclick. I've clicked it on the wrong side. So I might just hope for a bit more of a push down. I'll just take the 40. Made a bit of an error there. So basically I clicked on the wrong side, meaning that I went in short for another contract rather than closing out where I wanted to get out. Okay. And the market has broken that level. If we get a bit of a pullback, I might just get back in lightly. So I'll change this back to one contract. I'll just get in here. If we can break this structure here, I'll be very happy. Because then I think we're heading all the way to the close gap. But I'm not sure what was holding this price in the pre-market to make it go long. P&L, so yesterday was quite a big losing day. It was down about 1,100 from the high water mark. Bit of trading activity going on here, which is good. Hopefully we can properly break this structure. But yeah, so $700 down effectively, or well, after today's trading, or right now we're about $450 down. We've just tapped that Bollinger Band on the 5 minute, but I'm hoping we won't see too much of a reaction. There's a lot of bid side activity, not too much ask side, meaning the aggressive buyers haven't taken over just yet. But that Bollinger Band might have a part to play. I'm just going to zoom in so I can see what's really going on, how far we've got to go. Got about 50 points to that close gap, so I'm going to try and hang in there. Hopefully we don't have too much of a rejection off this Bollinger Band. It's only a 5 minute, and a close gap's probably got more weight. That's a big 20. If that's a limit order, could be in trouble, but hopefully it's more aggressive selling. Yeah, recovering a little bit. Obviously, every time you hit a high water mark, though, the total trailing drawdown squeezes you further. So if you have a big hit after you've made some profits, it gets harder and harder to kind of get back to where you were. So 100. Keep going. We're at 160 euro. I'm tempted just to get out and refocus. So I've got to click this side and we're out. So when I exit a position, I'm not using the market button. I'm clicking in line with the opposite order that I'm going to take. So I click this if I'm going to kind of market sell. And then to get out, I click on the opposite side in line with where I can see there's contracts existing. and that'll take me straight out rather than hitting the market. In case the market does move away, I don't want to get filled and lose, 3-4 points just because the market's moved away and I've just hit at an unlucky time. So at the moment, sitting at about 260 realized profit for today. A slight recovery, but the drawdown is quite tight. Now there's 41 contracts just hit there on the bid side, so that could be a limit buy, which was quite strange. It might be aggressive selling to get us down to that close gap potentially. So somebody's saying, right, properly get down there. It's not too far away now. It's about 20 odd points away from this close gap. See if the market gets all the way down there. What do you mean by the special? Do you mean the Apex discount? It's 47, so that might hold here. That's looks like a limit order. I really think we should get down and touch this close gap, but patience is perhaps key. Mind you, that's a very big contract to sort of be in the way of with that kind of activity going long. The Apex 90. I didn't see that. Must have been nice and quick. But I'd definitely take a look if it's still available. Obviously the code GFT for Global Finance Trading, it will get that 90% off. There's a lot of orders coming in, 57, all on this one price point. It's like somebody's protecting that close gap to not get filled just yet. But it's so close to not get filled. It'd be really disappointing for, I'm sure a lot of traders are waiting to get a little bit closer than 20 odd points away. Oh, do you mean slow as in like getting the account access? Because usually I get it super quick. It's almost instant. But maybe they're inundated because they haven't run a 90% off for some time as well. It's always been sort of the 80 or the 50. Somebody's really protecting that level with the 61 contracts. Also, see this volume profile here on the level 2 data, this green level. It keeps changing, but it's almost like somebody's ghosting it away. So if the market drops, it's like it's an algorithm that'll pick up that the market's getting closer. It might pull away those orders rather than loading up like you'd expect when it gets to this price. As a limit order, it pulls away, sort of tricking the market to go towards it. Oh, the activation fee, yeah. That's only once you pass though, right? I'll have to check that out shortly. Might get another account. 61 contracts. So that was the big giveaway. I would have been too scared to go long from this point, but 61 contracts, massive volume spike at that price level, and we didn't push much lower at all. Now we're kind of seeing a nice push up. Thanks to Treklord though, I'm trying to sort of reduce my my trades against the trend direction. So today it's really paid off. That's one of my biggest trading profits around the open in particular. Oh wow. That's massive, yeah. So that looks like aggressive buying potentially. Unless people were rejecting off this price point here to look for a sell, but perhaps the market will pull away before it hits this close gap. And then remembering that we do have this close gap that's unfilled, that still remains a target for me anyway. It may not get hit today, but the ASX sure took a beating during the session. I'll just see if I can open that up. I'll pop it on a 1 hour. So basically we opened at the S3. Had a buy, I guess, at the open, but the spread would have been massive. And then all day it just went downhill. So we'll see what happens on the DAX. Obviously very different market and the way it functions. If we can get a really strong push up, I wouldn't mind perhaps getting in for another short, but I think for me that's probably it. $260 earnings for today after that massive loss yesterday, so it's a good recovery. The market set up and it did exactly what I was hoping it would do. Aside from the push up into the pivot, we still saw a push up, which was nice, but not far enough. I'll just go back and recap what I was looking at for that original trade, which I probably should have just held. But when the market's jumping around, it's quite hard to sort of make a quick decision whether you hold or not, particularly when you've got a very tight drawdown available. So what happened at that original trade? We were pushing up. I saw this 28 and 26, so aggressive selling, I would imagine, and a limit order to sell. So this could have been additional limit orders based on the position. It could have been aggressive buying, but obviously it didn't continue and the sellers took hold. So this entry here, is that the entry? Try and zoom in, but yeah, somewhere around here I got in short, and basically that was the structure that I was looking for. And if we zoom out from that point to where we are now, I got in a few times, in and out quite a few times, but basically very good move short. So obviously I've got to work on hanging in there and just waiting, listening to my analysis, because it does okay, but it's more about the execution for me and just hanging with what I'm expecting. The tricky thing is obviously the drawdown side and the way that Apex Trader Funding, if you go into profit, it comes back, it squeezes you out. But we've added an extra $260 to our, I guess, max drawdown limits, which is great. But anyway, guys, any of you open to a free account if you haven't already got one? We're at the end of the session now. Just let me know if you'd like a free Apex code, and you can go and choose any size account you like. Any platform, of course, so whether it's Tradovate, I think it's Wealth Charts, and then Rhythmic. You can have, I think it's 1 month free access to try and pass and get funded. So, you know, you save anywhere between, I think it's like $30 up to several hundred. So just let me know in the chat and I'll get you to send me an email, and then I'll send you the code so you can go and get that free account. I've just popped my email in. obviously replacing the @ in brackets with the @ symbol. Send me an email. Let me know your name on YouTube so I can verify if you've been in the session, and I'll send you a free code. I've got about 6 left. Had 2 days so far where nobody wanted one, so feel free to send through the email. I'll send you the code and get that free access. But yeah, massive thanks to coming and watching the session. Wish you guys all the best with the rest of the trading session. That's probably about it. As far as insight goes, from what I can see, that's probably my limit unless something really shows up in the order flow or we have a massive impulsive move. But overall, I am expecting the market to at least get to this close gap, potentially this unfilled gap way down here, but that might be a job for tomorrow. Awesome. All right, guys. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for your email, and I'll send you the code. Thanks again, guys, for coming back. I really appreciate your support. It really means a lot, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.